The other thing I say to President Biden, close the borders now.
Some Republican governors coming out of their meeting with the president at the White House on Friday, and they said they didn't really see a point in President Biden continuing to focus on that bipartisan Senate deal because, yes, Republicans helped negotiate it, but it's dead right now. Donald Trump put enough pressure on Republicans to kill the bill, essentially. He didn't like it. He got enough people. He's the leader of the party, got enough people with him. That package is dead.
I would rather have a president who maybe has a stutter once in a while than one who spews conspiracy theory, racist nonsense, and has dinner with Nazis.
Well, we just heard him call a number of Republicans Nazis and racist, so I think we can put him in the category of willing to go there.
I mean, she is right, folks. You heard it here. How dare this guest remind viewers that the twice impeached, numerously indicted former president found liable of sexual assault once had dinner at his Mar-a-Lago resort with someone who, on record, called for a, quote, holy war on Jewish people, vowing that he and his band of basement losers would, quote, make them die.
And his third run for the White House. Are you surprised by the number of prominent Republicans who have come out against Trump? Even as Attorney General Bill Barr writes, Trump will burn down the GOP. Time for new leadership.
Nick Fuentes, to your question, one of the most virulent anti-Semites and just open racists, Holocaust denier. You know, you just go through his clips, it's kind of staggering to listen to. Trump's advisors, you know, most of his core team right now have been through, you know, Charlottesville, Access Hollywood, go through the list. This is sort of another day in the life of. They don't run around lighting their hair on fire. I sort of see some people say, oh, they're all freaking out. That wasn't been my experience the last few days of talking to them. These are people who've, it's sort of just another day at the office, actually. And one person said to me, and I saw someone else sort of tweeted this, but basically their take was, and this is a Republican official, was he invites one notorious anti-Semite to dinner, Kanye West, and he shows up with another notorious anti-Semite. So, the surprise was that there was two rather than one.
But it's doubling. That should be cause for concern for people.
Two is worse than one, yeah.
All right.
Let's just say this past weekend wasn't a constant 100% conspiratorial disinformation onslaught that one comes to expect from Fox News programming. There were quite a few glitches in the matrix that are worth noting.
Let's make this clear. The reason that the networks have to do this, and they should do more of it, is because Trump is making it necessary. He is abusing live TV to tell lies. Now, you know what? If I lie to you right now, maybe I made a mistake, maybe not. If I come back on next week and I say the same thing, you shouldn't have me on a third week because I've known
Wait, let me write this down. Okay.
And
don't have Philippe on.
You know, what Trump did for the first term is that he ran roughshod over the networks. They never used the word lie. They were too afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And one of the lessons from that first term was call it out. And he makes it impossible to not do that.
All right.
If CNN didn't want to give an audience, they wouldn't have cut to it.
From cutting away from Trump in real time to fact check his falsities, twice, by the way.
1,254 miles.
All right, we're continuing to monitor this. Just one slight thing I just wanted to add, because when you hear it, and you heard it from Donald Trump about the 2020 election, and it got millions of more votes, in fact, he did get millions of more votes, he still lost that election. That is not in doubt anymore. That's not being debated anymore. But I didn't want to get off topic too much.
To inviting Delaware Senator Coons on to discuss Biden versus Trump before none other than MAGA cult loyalist Tommy Lahren, who veered off bigoted avenue for once in her life to have a pit stop of sanity before returning to her usual route.
Both sides have been spinning this, obviously, and if this other televised hearing comes about, I can just imagine the ratings. But Jim Comer says the deposition was successful. They were able to prove several bits of our evidence. That's a quote from the congressman. The question the mainstream media keep asking is, where's the proof that Joe Biden got a dime?
Yeah, and that's going to be the difficult part for Republicans. And I got to say, as somebody who does believe there's plenty of evidence here, I think that this has failed optically for Republicans, and they've done good work. Obviously, Jim Jordan, Comer have done great work on this, but optically, it does make it seem as though they're beating up on someone with addiction issues. That's exactly what the media wanted it to look like. That's how they framed it. And unfortunately, that's what's coming to fruition. So I would encourage Republicans. I know you want to get to the bottom of this, but let's focus on the election. Let's focus on the failed policies of Joe Biden. This impeachment inquiry, unfortunately, is falling flat with a lot of viewers and voters.
Tommy and I found common ground.
But I do want to discuss this interaction in particular between Fox guest Jonathan Cott on Harris Faulkner's show, in which the discussion, of course, involved Biden's age and speaking ability. Because rest assured, folks, this guy, his opponent, well, he's just a verbal gymnast, right?
Yosemite, Nambia. Thailand, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Regardless, Cott swiftly reminded viewers of just who the Republican frontrunner is and the people that he has surrounded himself with in the past.
I can only tell you what my former bosses who have met with him publicly and privately say. He takes meetings long into the night. He's on top of everything. He's very detail-oriented. He's never had a note card in any one of those meetings. And I will say this, I would rather have a president who maybe has a stutter once in a while than one who spews conspiracy theory, racist nonsense, and has dinner with Nazis. So if given the choice between one or the other, I'm happy that Joe Biden might misspeak once in a while when he's trying to name a president of a foreign country.
Well, nobody has ever picked on him for his speech impediment. I mean, I have relatives who stutter. That's not the issue. It's the acuity issue. Yeah. Real quickly, Tammy.
Well, we just heard him call a number of Republicans Nazis and racist, so I think we can put him in the category of willing to go there.
I didn't call Republicans. I didn't call Republicans Nazis.
He had dinner with not going to work.
He had dinner with a Nazi,
and they are taking it personally. Look at these numbers. It's not going to work.
Exactly what I said.
Okay, I'm going to have to let you both go.
He had dinner with a Nazi.
I had even said I had never heard you talk like that, and look, 5 seconds later, I was wrong.
Desperation.
Sadly. Good to see you both. Great discussion as always. Thank you.
And here's the thing. It's not just like dining with Nick Fuentes was some anomaly. Throughout Trump's political tenure and his life, to be honest, he has on numerous occasions rubbed shoulders with far-right nationalists. I mean, the guy literally had to be asked on several occasions to disavow David Duke, the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
Good evening. I'm Abby Phillip in Washington. And just moments ago in South Carolina, Donald Trump accused the sitting president of the United States of hating black people.
It's the only thing he's really been good at his entire career. You know what that is? Being a racist, because he's a racist. Biden spent years palling around with notorious segregationists.
Donald Trump made that remark in South Carolina while making a pitch to the core of the Biden coalition, black voters. Now, Donald Trump failed to mention a few important things there. He was the guy who played footsie with white nationalists after Charlottesville. Donald Trump was the guy who had to be asked over and over again to distance himself from David Duke, the literal grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And the actual Trump sales pitch to black voters was even simpler than that. Biden bad, Trump good.
And I'm thrilled to be here tonight with crooked Joe Biden's absolutely worst nightmare. Hundreds of proud, black, conservative American patriots. You shouldn't be doing well because, honestly, they've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for everybody. But for black Americans, they have done a very poor job. If you want strong borders, safe neighborhoods, rising wages, good jobs, great education, and the return of the American dream, then congratulations, you are a Republican. It's pretty simple.
Trump says that he's not going to take the black vote for granted. He says under the last 4 years of his presidency, he achieved the lowest African-American unemployment rate ever recorded. But it turns out that's not true. The all-time low for black unemployment was set by, you guessed it, Joe Biden in April of 2023 at 4.8 percentage points. And Trump also added this.
Unlike racist Joe Biden, I've spent my entire life working hand in hand with black Americans to create jobs, build buildings, invest in our communities. I want to tell you, a black worker is a great worker.
All right, well, let's put aside treating black people like a monolith, which he did over and over again. Donald Trump's career has been marked by a detailed history of racism. He was sued in the 1970s for housing discrimination based on race. He settled that suit. And Trump also gave a pretty stunning reason for why he says black voters like him now.
I got indicted for nothing, for something that is nothing. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against.
But the reason the Trump coalition wants everyone in the mainstream media to continue in this back and forth gaff-off is because it acts as white noise to details like this. Things that people have become so numb to that they almost forget. So it is crucial that amidst these discussions, we continue to remind people just who Donald Trump is.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. Who would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.